Hello traders, good evening. Let us make the plan for tomorrow quickly. If we look at the monthly chart, we see that there is a first touch here, there is a second touch here. If we break out of this line, we may go a long distance above. Right now, we are above the high of the previous month, and that will be a very good support area if the price wants to come down. However, as of now, there is no bearishness in this candle. If we try to do a 1:1 in case this line breaks out, it actually takes us pretty high up to 5723. That is far away. If the market wants to go up there at some point, we will look at that, but right now that does not seem to be a very achievable target, even in a month's time. So we will be looking at if it breaks down the 6-8 area, which is the previous high, and then if we are coming down, then we'll have to keep a look at these highs as well, which is 5335. Again, it is the 5333 area, and below that we will have the 5309 or the 05 to 08 area as a very good area of support. If that breaks down, then we will come down to the subsequent levels. We'll talk about it as we move to the lower time frames. Let us look at the weekly chart right now. On the weekly chart right now, we do have a wedge, but the problem with this wedge is that there has been a lot of bars from this point to this point and very few bars from here to here. However, this is still a kind of a wedge, and it is highly possible that we can get rejected from here tomorrow morning and we can start falling. So if we are starting to fall, what are my weekly body gaps that we have currently? So this is my current weekly body gap. Although this candle is not over, we will have to keep a keen eye on the 5323 level, provided if we break down from the 5340 to the 5338 level, this will be the area of prime importance. If we break this down, then maybe there is a high possibility based on the weekly chart that we come down to the 529496 levels, breaking which the next levels will be around 848873, again 5273, and then 5267, and subsequent levels on the downside. However, if you look at this chart right now, there is nothing bearish about it. If the CPI data is good, we can shoot through this line and create another leg on the top. And if I talk about a simple measured move, even if I say that this was the move that happened on the downside and the bulls are taking it out, then in that case, again, 5532 may be another good area where the bulls may be targeting. But again, that is 5532 is pretty far away. I do not think that is going to happen very soon or by the end of this week. But if the CPI data is good and in coherence with the market, and then the market can push up pretty much more. It will not be at these levels tomorrow, but we will look at the lower time frame charts and see what are the different possibilities that we have. Now let us look at the daily chart. There is again nothing bearish about it. However, we are still in the range of this mother bar. It is really good that we closed above 7.3 today again, and especially because we have the IOI set up and there were bulls, there were buy orders right above this candle. There were buy orders right above this candle, and those got activated. So this area, which is the 7.7 area right now, that may work as a very good support. However, during CPI, you never know what is happening. Also, you see on this chart, we had the first leg up. This was the second leg up. This was the high to buy signal here. And if we are calculating a move to the upside, the daily chart, which can be equivalent of this leg, is also telling us 5521, but that is too far away. For the time being, what we will do is we will create the fib based on the mother bar levels, right? Once we have these mother bar levels, if we are trying to go up, our first target will be the 5444 area, and that is why I am very keen to see that CPI, it can push it up to the 5440. That will be my target for the day. Even if we come down to around 73 or 40 and keeps and then we keep going up, it is very much possible that if we cross above the 5402, this may be the final target for the daily bulls tomorrow, and that is pretty much achievable considering tomorrow is CPI. However, I will also urge the traders to be aware of this wedge line, which will be at 5406. It is highly possible that we may come up here and get rejected because just because of the reason that the wedge is getting formed. Many computers, many algorithms will look at that as a wedge, and if the CPI data is not good, maybe we can bounce up here and then come down all the way to the bottom. Right now, let us see if there are any bull gaps which are open on the daily chart, and this is the first bull gap that we have. Now we have to close below this bull gap, or maybe we have to come below this bull gap, which is again the 63267 area. We'll have to come below this bull gap, close multiple candles below it, and then maybe we will go down to the 5240 5340 to 5338 areas. Now those areas, the 5340, 5342, 5338, has been tremendously tested over the last few days, right? And I do not know how much strength is still there. Today also we bounced and we actually came back to the previous high, but now the actual test will happen tomorrow. If you see on the daily chart, we are in a kind of a balance zone. This is the total balance zone that we have on the daily chart, and this balance zone may actually act as a support. If you see that the price came down to these levels, the 5338 levels, during the CPI news, and then it is starting to move up again. Maybe it is trying to come here, maybe it is trying to go and hit this range bar, or it may even be possible that it will go out and take out this bar and keep going up to the 1:1 of the total mother bar range. So right now, if you see, the mother bar low has not been broken. There are bulls who are sitting here still, and if there is a big possibility that we can double this range up, or maybe triple this range up in tomorrow's session after the CPI has happened. Now let us look at the 4-hour chart. So the 4-hour chart is pretty interesting here, right? We finally had a breakout of this area on the 4-hour chart today. And if you see, the next candle is also bullish, which is saying that this has a follow through after the breakout. However, we need to break out of this previous high as well before we make any move on the upside. But if we draw our fibs and take our simple fib and say, okay, this was the breakout, even if I do not consider this candle, if we just say this candle was the breakout candle and we want to do a 1:2 of that, 5400 is the target, and we may actually go farther up from that. Even if we want to consider this whole leg as a part of the move, then we will see that the 1:1 of this move is suggesting that we go up to 5426. And if you want to be a little more aggressive and you want to start the counting from here and keep your 50% here, then you can see that it is actually suggesting we are going up to the 5432 level. And I am very much thinking that we will go up to the 5440 level tomorrow at least. However, there are certain things that we need to remember here. We need to connect these lines to the top. We'll have to see if we get rejected in this line. This is one possibility. The next possibility can be here. This can be another line of resistance. This can be another wedge line. And the third possibility that I see here, which is tremendously bullish, is this kind of a move. If we move here, these are the different lines which may try to tag. So keep these lines and keep these levels in mind wherever you see that the 4-hour bar is. Whatever is closest to it, you need to treat those bars. You need to make sure that once they are touching there, you are actually looking at it, that whether price is accepting that level or price is rejecting that level. So there are multiple wedges that have been formed here, and we'll have to keep them as our targets as we keep on moving up. Now, if we look at the downside of it right now, if we see currently we have a pretty good bull gap which is present on the 4-hour chart here, right? We had a bearish gap here. We broke through that. We got the follow through after the bearish gap, which has completely destroyed the bearish gap right now. And we are having another follow through bar here. So there is nothing bearish about the market. We cannot decide about how much bearish the market will be if the CPI data is not in coherence to the movement of the market that is happening currently. We will have to see when the data happens that how the market has moved and how the follow through is happening after that. And based on that, we will have to make our path, and that we will be doing in the morning call tomorrow. Coming to the 1 hour chart, if I see here, the 1 hour chart has very conveniently created a nice trading zone here, a trading range here, which is again a balance zone. But this looks like a bull flag at this point. And if we are considering the move of this if we are considering the move of this whole bull leg, 5415 seems to be a very good target on the upside around the CPI. However, these targets can be achieved right on the CPI bar, right? So if that happens, then we will have to see, okay, what are the possible moves? Are we still going up? Are we going to come down? So that will be decided only when we see what the CPI bar has done. This plan that we are doing now is a generic plan, correct? We do not know which way the CPI is going to throw the market. So once that CPI data happens, we will match it up with our generic plan and then make our final plan. So this is our final RTA chart. This is the final piece of the puzzle. We all know this has been a very good support, and today we came down below it and went up right above it immediately, and then we had this crazy move on the upside, correct? Apart from that, let us see what are the other resistances that we can find on the chart here. This is one more line at 5380. We already know that was a resistance. We have to keep an eye on the previous all-time high and see if we are breaking through it, then how much we are breaking through it. That is one more area. On the downside, we have these areas as well, which is 5362. That will act as a very good support. And after that, we also have the 5358. So 5358 to 5352 you can actually consider to be a complete range between which the price may move. On the downside, again, we have 5351 as a very good support area. Once that breaks down, we will come down to 5342. Below 5342, if the market wants to come down, it will mostly come down to the 5330 area, which is right here. This is another support that we have. Below this, again, you have to see that we have this bullish gap currently in present here. The market may actually try to come down here, mitigate this gap, go below it, and start bouncing from here again. That is a very high possibility for tomorrow as well. However, if that also does not break on CPI days, if it wants to come down, it will come down. No support will hold it back, right? And after this will be the next area of support, 91 to 87. So here we have the 9496 support area, the 88 support line, and then after that we have the 84 support line here again. So this is our 5284 line again, which will also act as a support. And once that gives up, we will come back straight down to the 73 to the 69 area. So if you look at this 73 to 69 area is the next support zone that you will find. If 73 to 69 is also taken out, then this will be another level of support that you will have at 5254, and below 5254 it will come back to this balance zone, which is between 5247 and 5242. Once that breaks down, if we want to come down further, I do not know whether the market wants to come down 150 points or 100 points. Well, I have to keep all these levels marked so that in the morning I am not looking for them. This is another balance zone, 5231 to 5227. And if we come even below that, this is the final area in the 5200. I do not think CPI is capable of throwing down price more than that. And considering that this is the election year, I do not think that the Fed will allow such a thing to happen, and that will put a lot of pressure on the incumbent government. Okay, so that is the plan for the day. These are the lower levels of support that we have. On the upside, we will have to see if we actually break out to the upside, till where we are going, how it is performing, if we are having a follow through after that. So since we are at the all-time high, we cannot say anything based on where the market is going or what the market is going to do, right? So that can only be said once we are back tomorrow morning. We have seen the CPI data, and based on that, we will take our call. If you want to join the morning call, the link to the Google Meet is given in the description. Also, the link to the Facebook page as well as the Discord is in the description. If you want to join there, you are always welcome. That is all I had for tonight. I will see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great night, everyone.
you.